Hello and welcome to Golden Droplets, a series of webinars aimed to reduce the distance between the industry and the academy. In today's episode number 45, we're going to be talking about field photography. And I'm going to be using a new format I hope that you will like. So, once again, Golden Droplets, episode number 45. Enjoy.
Field photography. Good photographs not only serve as admirable illustrations for reports and memoirs, accounts, etc., but also help the geologist to recall and revisualize specific relationships previously observed in the field. Therefore, I will include some notes on field photography. To take a good field photograph, you need a good camera and a combination of lenses that allow you to take pictures from close-up to panoramic views. Filters, zoom rings, wide-angle lenses, etc. are also very useful. Nowadays, the cameras built into smartphones are generally sufficient to get good images. I assume that you have mastered the basics of photography in terms of lighting, aperture, speeds, etc. If not, refer to one of the existing photography manuals and practice until you get a certain mastery, since photography will be very useful to you in general in your task as a researcher. Here I will limit myself to some techniques very specific to the geologist's work. Stereoscopic views. Paired stereo consists of two exposures of the same object taken from two different positions in the same plane. Paired stereo is not only obtained from airplanes, but it is also possible, and very useful, to obtain them from the surface. To obtain a panoramic stereo pair, it is sufficient to move the camera about 30 centimeters apart on the same plane between one photo and the next. If greater accuracy is desired, the direction of the plane should be set with a compass. The greater the separation between the two camera positions, the greater the 3D effect, but also the greater the aberration at the extremes. Panoramic stereo pairs are especially useful for studying folds, faults, etc., on mountain slopes. The best photos are obtained with the use of a tripod. Composition of photographs in the field. A geologist with a camera is not a simple photographer but a geophotographer. That is why when taking his field photographs, it is necessary to keep in mind some basic principles of photocomposition, among which we have the following. In all geophotography, a repetition of images from the foreground to infinity should be sought. Such a repetition could be, for example, a road, a river, a fence, a row of trees, etc. The geophoto should be balanced. Always try to introduce a random object in the foreground, such as a tree stump, a rock, etc. If you want to obtain an impression of depth in the photo, the sky should occupy no more than 2/5 of the photo. If, on the other hand, you want a sense of spaciousness, the horizon line should be more towards the center of the photo. In both cases, try to take the picture with the smallest possible aperture. Linear objects, rivers, roads, railroad lines, etc., should not occupy the central part of the photo, neither vertically nor horizontally. Try not to prune the trees. Often the difference between a good photo and a bad one is just a few steps to the left or right. Finally, an essential condition of the geophoto is the inclusion of some object to calibrate the scale. Always prefer a quantitative scale, ruler, etc., to a qualitative one, pencil, coin, etc. Systematic photography. This system, originally introduced by the North American geologist L.W. Leroy in 1960, is based on systematizing the placement of the photographic stations or points in such a way that the increase in detail develops as the photos are viewed in consecutive order. The position of the photographic stations and their geographical orientation are located on a map or plan specially dedicated to this function, marking the photographed area with lines. The sequence of the photos would be as follows. A. Panoramic view showing the working area in all its amplitude. B. Middle view, in which the object of interest is already distinguished. C. Close-up view, in which the photo is taken at a distance of not less than 6 meters. D. Immediate view, the photo or sequence of photos is taken between 2 and 6 meters. e. close-up, when the photos are taken at distances of no more than 1 meter. If there are close-up rings, this distance can be reduced to 10 to 30 centimeters. F. Microphotographs, when photos are taken of polished or thin sections through a microscope, as well as photos of heavy concentrates through a binocular, etc. In addition to the plan with the position and orientation of the photo stations, it is advisable to keep in a notebook the list of the photos taken indicating the subject of the photo, the conditions of the shot, aperture, speed, etc., the name of the person who took the photo, the distance between the photo points in the case of panoramic stereo pairs, as well as any other detail you consider of interest. Experiment with your camera until you discover the combinations that guarantee the best results.
I think these videos are brilliant, and I'm sure you will like them too. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to click the notification bell.